the 10-year date of their marriage is coming up. And that is very significant. If you're married for 10 years in California, everything is communal property.
Oh, wow.
So it doesn't matter if you have a prenup or not. After 10 years, it's communal property and you get half. So let's look. It's going to definitely last for 10 years. You and I both know people who stay married for the children and they are in a miserable marriage. I don't think that Harry would ever leave those children. And so he's stuck in California and he doesn't have any friends, really. He hangs out with his security guards and Meghan.
Breaking today, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been sacked again. And this is now becoming a real crisis for the fake Duke and Duchess, who are struggling financially, who have no real guaranteed income from Netflix, which is dragging its feet on a number of products, which have a huge warehouse full of was never stock, which nobody wants. And all of a sudden, the one guarantee, which was these continued drip-fed books, which were meant to follow up Prince Harry's, let's be honest, sensational bestseller Spare, which did make him a lot of money, and he only gave a teeny tiny little proportion of it to send to Bali, or something like, you take the pocket money and I'm going to keep the rest. But even that is running out, because when you add up the mortgage costs, the security costs, the travel costs, and all of a sudden you do not have the protection of, remember when they went into that house, the Spotify deal and the Netflix deal, plus they were far more popular in terms of the amount of money that they were getting on the speaking circuit. So Paula Froelich, you will know her, of course, as an on-air correspondent at NewsNation, but now also burning up a trail in the independent space as the host and writer behind the Inside Scoop with Paula Froelich on Substack and YouTube, has just revealed that things have got so much worse. Hello, Paula. I know you're going to get into all of this shortly, but I've just got to take everyone through this major exclusive which you have dropped this week. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's book publisher done over money demands. And Paula reports it's no secret that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle need to make money. Their mortgage and security costs alone are in the millions. Yep, absolutely. But you can't drink from the same well twice. The couple saw their deals with Netflix, Spotify, and Lemonada Media end in the last 2 years, with Spotify boss Bill Simmons calling the two fucking grifters. And their only deal technically left standing is with publisher Penguin Random House. But I hear that too is over. If only because the two are annoying and can't come up with any good ideas for more books. The initial deal was for a multi-book deal and worth between $40 million. That was depending on deliverables, Paula reports. Harry collected $20 million for his 2023 memoir. Spare knocked it out of the park with over 6 million copies sold. But it seems he wants more money. Paula's publishing insider saying the executives at Penguin Random House are fielding near weekly calls from the Sussex camp asking for more money. They think there are royalties, but there aren't. Penguin overpaid, and with marketing, printing, and other costs, even with millions of copies sold, they will never earn out or get royalties. While the executives understand the Sussexes asking, one said Harry has a fundamental disconnect to the concept of money, and certainly that money can indeed run out. Meanwhile, the publisher has received at least 2 proposals from Markle, which were turned down. It has been reported that Markle wanted to do a book on leadership and philanthropy and a divorce book, both of which were turned down. Reps for the Sussexes denied the divorce book. Penguin Random House is done with the Sussexes. It will never publish another book by them. They were financially burned, my source said, and a rep for the couple didn't return emails. Paula, whoa, this is a bombshell, because that's where I think they're relying on the next big payday coming. And what are they going to do? Have to find another publisher? Can they even find another publisher, or are they tired?
Tonight on The Crown Report, fresh questions are being raised about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle as new reports focus on challenges surrounding their latest business ventures. After a series of high-profile deals and projects, some commentators, are now asking whether the pressure to deliver results, combined with intense public scrutiny, could be creating strain behind the scenes. Supporters argue this is simply the reality of building a global brand, while critics believe it signals deeper issues for the Sussexes. Dan is joined by NewsNation's Paula Froelich, the journalist behind Inside Scoop on YouTube and Substack, to break down what's really going on. From the business setbacks being discussed to the impact on Harry and Meghan's public image, Paula shares her insights into why this moment is attracting so much attention. Is this just another bump in the road for a high-profile couple navigating global fame, or could it point to bigger challenges ahead? Stay with us as we unpack the claims, the reactions, and what it all could mean moving forward. If you enjoy royal news, analysis, and exclusive commentary, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest update from the Crown Report.
They might be able to find another publisher, let's be honest, if Meghan wants to do her inside take. However, they're not going to get the money that Harry got for Spare, nowhere near it. And I think Penguin is just so financially burned, they can't imagine doing anything with them again. Now, also remember, Harry and his ghostwriter got into a little bit of a spat after the book was published because Harry got his hand spanked by the royal family. And of course, William won't talk to him until he utters an apology, which he never will. And Harry, of course, wanted to blame someone else. He could not look at himself and say, oops, my bad, sorry. In fact, neither of them can apologize. And they're both notoriously difficult to work with. You know, Meghan had that other children's book, something about a bench, The Boy and the Bench. And
which flopped.
It sold like maybe
tanked.
Yeah, it sold like maybe 5 copies, one to her mother and possibly 4 Sussex.
I don't even
fans
think
ponied
Doria
up.
wanted it, Paula, honestly. She's got too much to do. She's got better taste.
No, she does. Also, she got one for free anyway. But, you know, it's just, they're not really great at follow through. They come up with these ideas and nothing happens, or they water them down into nothing. You know, remember at Spotify, they were going to kind of talk, she was going to do interviews and it was going to be interesting. And then she watered it down and watered it down. You know, it was going to be archetypes and it watered down into mishmash and a bunch of Montecito mumble jumble.
Yeah, and now no one wants to talk to them.
Of course, because first of all, no one wants to fall asleep while on air. That's horrifically embarrassing. And you know,
have you done that before, Paula, when you get up very early in the morning?
I have, but never on NewsNation.
No, of course
However,
not. Of course not.
However,
you're far too professional for that.
100%. Well, at least at NewsNation. However, the issue is with the book industry, what more can they do? Their only story is how they're the victim of the royal family, and they have flogged it over and over and over again. There's nothing else to flog. And of course, Penguin was also upset because there was a paperback version of Spare. Now, usually when that happens in real time, there is almost always an update in the back, something extra. So people actually want to go out and buy the paper book. However, Harry refused to do anything more, and it was very frustrating. Penguin definitely did not make any money on that paperback. It was a loss,
and he did no PR either, no interviews.
None. Refused to, thinking, well, my words are enough. And you're like, well, first of all, they're not really your words, they're ghostwriter. Second of all, what are you thinking? It's just people put money behind you and they need something back. You know, he's just so used to going to the well and it's never ending. You know, there's just a never ending bank account. And all of a sudden there is a never ending bank account. And if you get money, especially in the States, people want you to work for it.
Now, Paula, the thing is, the divorce book is really critical in all of this, right? And for a long time, I had reported on this, but I was like dismissed as some type of conspiracy theorist madman. Like, why would she be talking about a divorce book and plans for a post-divorce world when she's still very much married to Prince Harry? But all of a sudden, I think people have started to take it seriously after Vanity Fair picked up on this. And of course, you know, come on, Vanity Fair are pretty much not going to, like, pretty much a sort of mainstream outlet that are very careful and have fact checkers and all of that type of thing. So I was like, okay, come on, it's in Vanity Fair. You can't keep denying this. And the predicament that she's in, Paula, is that Meghan might need to go with this book earlier than planned. But if she does that because she needs the money and she's still with Harry, she is going to have to lie about, well, no, let me phrase that differently. She's going to have to be nice about him, whereas the plan for the post-divorce book was to not only throw the British royal family under the bus, but to throw Harry under the bus too. Do you see what I mean? So it's much more difficult because if she writes the book, because we know she's got the secret diaries, we know that there's no NDA, that, you know, there was that threat made in the Cut magazine, which was particularly disgusting because remember at that point, the late Queen Elizabeth II was really unwell and it was like, here's my little threat, you know, I'm planning my book. But all of a sudden that went off the table because it was like, well, she'd have to defend Harry in that, and then it becomes much more difficult for her once she's actually written that in print. How does she then, during the divorce battle, say, oh no, he was actually a really bad husband, he didn't support me? Because his legal team will be able to say, well, no, sorry, here on page 155, you said Harry was great in your autobiography. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%. But you know, Dan, the other reason the divorce talk came up is the recent Wall Street Journal article. And the very last line of the Wall Street Journal article was, if Harry ever wants to get remarried again, he's going to have to ask William for permission. Now, the Wall Street Journal is not the type of publication to just throw that in. To me, it smacked, they had several people saying how unhappy the couple are, how unhappy Harry is, and that, you know, he was thinking about it or had thought about it. However, the editors were like, listen, we can't put this in there. So as a nod to their sources, it seems to me that they slipped that last line in, which really shot my eyebrows through the roof. And I was like, yep, there we go.
Yeah, but it was written just like it was a fact, wasn't it? It was like, it was just like an assumption.
Well, it is a fact. It is a fact. If
totally,
William
but as you say, for the Wall Street Journal, I mean, that's, it was a big moment, I thought, actually. That was sort of lost because, you know, that feature came out, there was a lot going on, wasn't there? There was Andrew, and then there was all the Australia stuff, and I think it was sort of lost, but I totally agree. That was the most significant part because actually everything else was basically a repeat of what lots of us have been reporting for a long time about Harry being sad and feeling like a bit of a spare part and everything. But it absolutely was like the next time, I mean, they pretty much said that probably the next time he's going to speak to William is when William is king, and he's going to be asking permission to marry. And of course, no one would claim something like that about a couple that was happy.
No. I mean, you're not saying, you know, if William wants to remarry, he'll have to